Rick Dancer, and welcome to Weed, California. We're on our way to down to Monterey. This is Robert Conrad. And since I don't know how to take him out of the shot without getting rid of him, Robert has to stand here while I sit here and do this. You guys, we are here thanks to Priority One Heating and Air Conditioning. And on a day like today, you probably are wishing that you'd had your heating and air conditioning system monitored 6 times or twice a year, had them come out and check it, because a lot of people's are going bad. This is the time of year when they kind of fail. And we are so glad that that they're around. Yeah, Jason comes on here and says weed. I go, yeah, Weed, California. Remember when it was really cool. You had a shirt that said, I was in weed. Well, now everybody's legalized marijuana. Nobody gives a damn anymore. I wonder what these people do, Robert, for an encore to that. So
I don't even want to think about that.
So, Robert, tell them what you do.
I'm a police officer for the city of Springfield, Oregon.
But that's not why you're here tonight.
It is not.
Tell them why you're here.
I'm here because I am a pancreatic cancer survivor.
See, now that absolutely blows me away, because I don't think I've ever heard of anyone. You had pancreatic cancer when?
2017, I was diagnosed.
18, 19, 20, 21. You've lived I have never met, most people die within 6 months to a year.
That's what they tell me.
How did that happen?
Nobody knows why you get cancer, but I had some issues with my side, so I ended up just having a routine check, and they told me we need to have some more tests run, and my blood sugars were off the chart. They were like 690, and so they were trying to figure out why my blood sugar was so high. So they did an ultrasound, and they found a tumor in my pancreas, and so the tumor was affecting the pancreas's ability to produce insulin, which was causing everything else to go out of flux. Fortunately, because of that issue, we were able to diagnose it at stage 2. It wasn't stage 4, which is usually the one where you find out about. So it was only stage 2. So we went straight into starting to fight the tumor. And it was about a year process. It was very lengthy with a lot of procedures.
You guys, the reason we're talking to Robert is because Saturday, Relay for Life, the American Cancer Society's biggest fundraiser, is happening live again. And this is not, you've been to it, right, Robert?
Yes. 2 years ago, I was actually tabbed as their main honorary person, and I had a speech before during the opening ceremonies.
I did that years ago after I had prostate cancer. They had me come in and do that. And it's a pretty emotional event.
I mean, we've all heard of Relay for Life in some fashion, but unless you either know somebody that's had cancer or have had cancer, it's kind of like it's there, but you don't really think about it. But when you have cancer, or know somebody, you definitely think about it, and it's on the forefront of your mind. And it was good to have that experience.
And didn't you find, for me, I found when I went, it was like you saw all those other people with cancers and how strong people are, and the stories that were even harder than yours. And you're in awe at the people that show up. And it was like, I remember taking one of those laps, and I was just sobbing the whole time, because I'm looking around at people and going, oh my God, this is just the most powerful thing I've ever been to in my life. And now a couple of people I actually walked with are no longer with us anymore. Because that's why I think Relay for Life is so important for people to just, even to go down and walk a couple laps, give them 10 or 20 bucks or more. And because and last year they really suffered, because this is an event that brings in a lot of money. And last year, because of COVID, they couldn't have it. And it was detrimental to their fundraising. And this year they really need people to come out. And for the people that are there, it's a really great thing to show your support for them.
Oh yeah, I went after my second surgery, which deemed to be cancer-free after that surgery. 12 days afterwards, I was at Relay for Life, and I was really hurting. But I said, I'm going to go, and I'm going to get a lap in, and I got there. I was able to attend, but I couldn't do the lap. It was just
Really?
too much, and I had to leave after about an hour. So that way, the following year was the year that I got to go as kind of their honorary member. And I told the crowd, I didn't get a lap in last year, but I'm not leaving this year until we close this place down. And we stayed until the entire thing was over.
Robert, what did you learn about your life surviving cancer? About you yourself?
Uh, that if you put your mind to things, you have a better chance because, like you say, knowing that it was a pancreatic cancer, that there's not a lot of survivors from it. I said, I'm not going down without a fight. I had one night of crying. That was the first night of my diagnosis. And from then on, I never cried a single tear. My wife and I, who I love to death and got me through this as well, stood by my side the whole time. And we went and we took each treatment one at a time. We took each surgery one at a time. And we always I always tried to have a positive attitude going forward. And I really believe that positive attitude has a direct effect on where I am today.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had one night of just terror, and then you have to suck it up. And I heard from so many survivors that, Rick, it's all about your attitude. It's like if you go into this, and I mean, there are people who have good attitudes and they still don't survive. I'm not saying that if you don't have a good attitude, but I'm saying, like, I think with any of this stuff, even what we're doing with COVID right now, your attitude and the fear, that's why I've been, really not afraid of any of this right now, is just because I've already survived cancer. And when a doctor, you got to agree with me. When the doctor says you have cancer, time stops.
Oh, yeah.
And you are never the same. And I think for me, it was the best gift I've ever had in my life.
Oh, yeah. Since I've been deemed cured, and I keep going back every 6 months, and they keep telling me, you're still good, you're still good. But since that time, I've had a grandson born, and now I have a granddaughter on the way. And it could have been a lot different, and I may not have ever had a chance to see either one of them.
You guys, so we all the businesses like Dairy Mart and then Priority One Heating and Electric, or Heating and Air Conditioning, they are all the different people like that are sponsoring. I mean, Priority One is sponsoring our show, but that sponsor this event are so dang important to the community and to the American Cancer Society. What I think I didn't know until I got cancer, is all the services the American Cancer Society provides. That when you have cancer now, to me, the first thing I would do is call them and say, okay, point me in a direction, because, I don't know about you, but my doctor, they gave you, they're fine. I'm not complaining. I'm saying, but here you go. Okay, now you'll deal with it. You have surgery, do this. It's like, but what do I do? I need help. I need somebody to talk to me, and I think now talking to Brenda Weber and Alicia, who's so involved from Priority One with the American Cancer Society, you realize all the services they have offered, and they can't do that without funding.
Right. And it's a very important thing, because you do realize that you go in for treatments and you think, oh my gosh, doom and gloom for me. And then, like you say, you see other people that are even more devastated than you are, who are having a more difficult time, who no matter what they do, they're not going to make it. And to be able to have a group of people to be able to talk to and get help from and to reach out as that support group, it's invaluable.
So I guess that Weimar is doing something tomorrow. The Dutch Brothers is, people said they heard you speak, Robert, and they loved it. Dutch Brothers Day is tomorrow. Eugene, Springfield, Cottage Grove, and Junction City Dutch Brothers. So they're obviously offering a special. Somebody can put that on there, what it is. So the proceeds from what you buy is probably going to help the American Cancer Society and Relay for Life. Do you think, Robert, since surviving this, do you take life a little, in one way, more seriously, or do you, I don't know, what am I trying to say? You live it more purposefully, but you also are more free?
I'm more, especially now, like you say, with COVID, it's like I scared cancer right in the face and I won.
Right.
I mean, every day after that is a blessing. And so I can't sit here and dwell on whether or not I'm going to get COVID or not get COVID or all these other intangibles. I've gotten vaccinated. I do the things, but I don't dwell on it every single day like I know some people do.
Right.
I can't let it run my life. I want my life to be about me and my family and how I do things.
So apparently all the proceeds from the Dutch Brothers, Stephanie says, goes to tomorrow goes to Relay for Life for those different ones. Yeah, I think I think people haven't understood me sometimes when I've said, I'm sorry I survived cancer. I'm just not afraid. And it doesn't mean I want to get it or I don't think it's serious, but it's just like, but I'm not afraid of people not liking me. I mean, there's just a lot of things I'm not afraid. It's like, somebody says, I don't really like what you said. And I'm like, well, I survived cancer. I don't, whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of a milestone in your world where you go, it's almost really like I started over after cancer. People go, you're different than you used to be. I said, you don't have cancer and stay the same. And I think you get better. I think you can get bitter or you can get better, and you have to make the choice of what you're going to do.
Yeah. And I chose the better. I
too.
I can't be bitter, but nobody gave it to me. It just happened. It's nothing that I could have prevented, but I lived through it. I fought through it, and I'm here, and I'm going to keep fighting every single day going forward.
So again, you guys, the Relay to Life, that's at Lane Event Center tomorrow from noon to 10. And then there's all kinds of events. The Survivor Lap is something you have to see. The silent auction, there's going to be luminary ceremony with bagpipes. That's something that I went the first year and I couldn't go. Other years I went and did the lap and I couldn't go because I literally sobbed the whole time. I mean, I was a blubbering idiot, and it doesn't mean people shouldn't go. You should go watch it, but it was just too much for me. It was so hard. A lot of fun activities. It's a Disney theme, so the teams are going to have tents that are going to be Disney stuff, and you can come walk a lap or two. There's no pre-registration, so you can just show up tomorrow and do your thing. Robert, any last words of advice for people just that are going through this right now?
Well, my advice is if you have cancer, first off, keep a positive attitude about it. Reach out, get help. Don't be afraid to reach out to those resources. There's lots of people that have lived through it, and there's people that can help you, and keep a positive attitude.
I remember when the first year they kept calling me a survivor, and I said, I'm glad I survived, but I don't want to be a survivor. I think, and a lady came up to me who was there, and she'd survived cancer too. And she says, Rick, I know it. What if we just become thrivers? Instead of survivors, we're thrivers. And I said, that is something I want to do. I can be a thriver.
Yeah, that's
Robert,
good.
And so on a side note, thank you for what you do as a police officer in Springfield. We back you. We love what you guys do. We love our local police force.
Thank you for the billboard.
You are so welcome. Dr. Bratlin, Michael Bratlin is the guy, the money behind that. But Christy Kilcullen, myself, and Michael all took the hits on that one. But you know what? It's just, I think you guys are so important to our community. And look at our streets in our town. We have a very lovely, beautiful little community. So in fact, tomorrow night, there is a 5 to 10 o'clock, there's going to be a downtown block party. We're at downtown Springfield, where when you were a cop too, earlier in your career, you were busting hookers and drug addicts down there. And now it's a beautiful, wonderful place. And so they're going to celebrate that tomorrow night from 5 until 10 o'clock, I think. Live music, food, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been doing that 15 to 20 years ago.
No, not at all. Hey, Robert, thanks again for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I'm going to see if I can learn how to take this and go. Oh, I can remove Robert from the stream. All right, buddy. See you later.
See ya.
All right, you guys. So again, just for fun, I got to show you this. I know it's hot. Well, it's like 90 degrees. I'm in Weed, California. So this is the van we're driving. Can you see that? And we sleep in here. It's and then here's the other van. You got to see this. There's our bikes. Kathy and I brought our bikes. We're going to go spear fishing, scuba diving, and we spearfish. And then I saw the rundown and I was like, what are you asking us to do? I think they want us to do cliff diving, and I'm afraid of heights. So we'll see how that goes. But this is the other van. Look at that. Is that like the coolest thing? And so we're driving down the highway, and this is Outside Van Company. We're driving down the highway, and people are staring, just like gawking, and they see this one, and then they see mine, and they're just gawking at us. So we're taking 2 days to get down there. Brian and Kathy. Brian's with Outside Van Company. They're inside getting some groceries, and then we're gonna head on down to probably Shasta, spend the night, and then head on down to Monterey. So I'll be doing little lives and showing you what's going on from down there as well. Again, you guys, Priority One Heating and Air Conditioning is a sponsor of our show. They're huge sponsors of Relay for Life. And Alicia said, Rick, this is what we have to do. And I would encourage you to post this on your page, share it, and then go out there tomorrow so other people will know that it is happening this year. And then go out there tomorrow. If you're driving around and going to the store, just stop by for an hour and do a little walk and walk around with somebody and go meet somebody and ask them. You do. You go, because I'll tell you what, as a survivor, I understand this, go up and ask them, what was it like? How did you do? What did you learn? Ask them some questions like that, because they all have a story, and we can all learn from that story. All right, I'm Rick Dancer. Again, Priority One Heating and Air Conditioning. If you aren't on their program to have your equipment checked out twice a year, you're probably sorry. Get on it. And also, if you're somebody who's looking at putting one of those little window air conditioners in, go call Alicia, call the crew, and ask them about the other systems that they have that are less, that will work much better, be much more efficient for you. Because you don't want to be sitting in this stuff. My son said to me, well, you live in Oregon, you don't need air conditioning. My wife and I have had air conditioning every house we've lived in since the first one, when we opened the windows every morning and shut them out. It's like, no, we're not doing this again. All right, have a good day. I will show you more of our adventure to California from Outside Van. Have a good day.